Giants are doing right now. They're living dangerously. This is Tennis New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Want to talk about Shane Bowen and the pirate chest. Want to talk about the fights in practice. Want to talk about OTAs, and I just want to talk about this bad vibe or feeling that I'm getting right now. And I'm trying to get I'm going to talk about that later because I'm trying to get away from it. But there's something that's bothering me with this team, and where to start? Usually they say start from the beginning, but you know what? Let's start with the Shane Bowen and the pirate chest before we get into anything else, because that's kind of lead into what I want to talk about.
I'll live with a real tough one. What's the story behind the turnover chest?
Oh, the chest. So my son, this is his first year of T-ball, and he's on the Pirates. So the main things emphasizing takeaways. Like, we got to get better at takeaways. So somehow got the idea, piracy, violent, attacking to steal possessions or goods, right? So you'll hear our guys say it, like I say it ad nauseum, be a damn pirate.
But I don't want to be a pirate.
Like, we got to find ways to get the ball, and again, you get what you emphasize. So we're making it a priority this year to make sure we find ways.
I look at this. Now, I played through Pop Warner, high school, college, and you reach a certain level in your athletic career when you're just kind of like, the gimmicks don't work. Could you imagine the New England Patriots with a treasure chest, a pirate chest? Arr. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine the Kansas City Chiefs saying, throw the ball in the pirate chest because that's what we are, mateys. We're pirates. Arr. I know you got a lot of young guys on this team, but you are professionals. You're in the NFL. Plain and simple. And you are using a turnover chest as motivation. I'm literally rubbing my head because I have my concerns about Shane Bowen. I have my concerns about what Shane Bowen is going to be able to do with this defense. I have some concerns about what Shane Bowen can bring to this defense. And I see things like this, and I just think I'm literally holding my head because I'm literally having Joe Judge flashbacks. Let's run some laps. And then you had the morons in the parking lot. Yeah, we're going to run some laps because that's solidarity. Well, where I always came from, running laps was a punishment, not solidarity. Not something that you would think that anyone would ever do in the pros. But Joe Judge had them out there running laps for their mistakes. You know, don't treat them like men. Treat them like adolescents, because that's going to really work really well for professionals, because you're going to have a long career. But to have a pirate chest, and like I said, it's very high school. And that's what worries me. It's very, very high school. And then Shane Bowen goes on to talk about how he's going to get all these three guys on the field. How you have the versatility of all these guys, but you're going to find the best three guys to play, which in hindsight is a great idea. But let's listen to the comment for a second, though.
We got to find ways to get the guys that can impact the game on the field. So there's some versatility there. Obviously, with Abdul, he did a little bit of that stuff off the ball in college early on in his.
Okay, early on in his career, he did do that. And his second season, we've said it before, there's one glaring statistic for Abdul Carter that sticks out. That's 25.7%. I'm going to say it again. That's 25.7%. And what's that 25.7%? That is his missed tackle percentage. That was his missed tackle percentage his second and last year as an off-the-ball linebacker. It was his versatility and speed as a pass rusher that got him drafted 3 overall, not what he could do as a linebacker. If he would have stayed at linebacker, maybe he would have gone the latter half of the first round. Maybe he would have gone the second or third round. But it's not because of the fact that he has all this great chops as a linebacker. He misses tackles by the bunch. He has problems making tackles in space. He has problems making the open field tackle. if you don't use him solely as a pass rusher, especially early on, I think you're going to screw this kid up for a little bit. But that's what concerns me about Shane Bowen. But let's keep going on.
Career, so there's some versatility there, some versatility of what we potentially could do with Burns as well. But again, making sure.
I love the versatility that he's going to do with Burns, because you think about it and you go back and you look up the stats, because we're big stat guys. We're stat guys, not Pro Football Focus, but we're stat guys. When you have a stat that you turn around and have some context with, that's what we like to do. Okay, Brian Burns only played 28 snaps last year off the defensive line. So literally last year, he played 28 snaps off the defensive line. So that tells me that Shane Bowen last year knew that Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau are both not outside linebackers. Both have their challenges in coverage. Both gentlemen are athletic, but their prowess and their skill is to go after the quarterback. I keep listening to this, and like I said, it's giving me that
danger. Will Robinson, danger. No, Will Robinson, danger.
I'm getting the Joe Judge flashbacks, and they're not good flashbacks. It's like a bad acid trip.
In Abdul's case, that we understand what it takes to be an edge player in this league and all the development that comes with that. But at the same time, making sure we find ways to get the guys that can potentially impact the game for us on the field.
That's a great conversation piece, that you're going to get the guys that can impact the game on the field. I do envision a time where you're going to see hopefully all three on the field, because I think that is going to help you thrive with your defense and allow you to generate some type of pass rush. Now, when having Dexter Lawrence in the middle, having Darius Alexander, while Darius Alexander is only 300 pounds, he was drafted per Joe Judge for his athleticism and his pass rushing ability. So having everyone, I'm not going to call it a NASCAR package, because like I said, we've gone over this ad nauseum with Perry Fuel. The NASCAR package worked because you had Matthias Kiwanuka and Jason Pierre-Paul playing at times at the same times, and both of those gentlemen were big men who could play the run at the defensive position. Both had 80-plus tackles, and the majority, I would say at least 60% of those tackles were solo tackles, which means they were leading the point of attack. So you had them, and you also had Justin Tuck and and Osi Umenyiora, who were both battling at injuries in 2011, but both also knew how to play the run. You have Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, who all have difficulties manning up against the run. And you say, well, that's not true, Tim. Well, the Giants ranked 29th last year against the run. Gave up over 2,000 yards, something like 19 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. That's not good. And you had Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau on the field. Then you're going to blame the injuries. You're going to say all this. I already know everything that's coming down the pike. But we are in some ways, I feel like we're entrusting this entire season to Shane Bowen, because I think Brian Dable, with a little bit more work with the likes of course, Malik Neighbors, I think, Cam Scatterby, like I said, is going to be, I think he's going to be that north-south runner. While I don't think he's going to be what people think he's going to be, he's not going to be Marshawn Lynch, but I mean, he's going to be that guy that's going to get you north to south. And then you're going to have, of course, Tyrone Tracy as your change-up back, or you're going to have Tyrone Tracy as your feature back, and you're going to bring in the Scatterby, on running situations. He's, like I said, he is a guy that can catch the ball, but under his size and his speed, once you get him into that second level, I don't think he's going to have the same success that he had in Arizona. And that's just pure logic. But I think the offense with Russell Wilson, while they're not going to score prolifically, I do think they're going to score enough points to win some games. But the problem is this: it's going to be up to Shane Bowen. And Shane Bowen talked about fitting the people in the pieces, working the system around the people. But I just get concerned that this is the same guy that I watched for 4+ years in Tennessee, and I saw horrific defense, especially in the secondary. And they only improved when Jim Schwartz was there for 2 years, and then they regressed once again when Jim Schwartz went off to – the Schwartz be with you – when Jim Schwartz went off to Cleveland. I gotta hear the Dane Belton thing. He had a Dane Belton comment as well.
What the upgrades you made in the secondary, how does that change maybe what you guys can do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Adam Debo helps. Got a proven corner in this league. Obviously, he's coming off the leg, but he's been great in terms of that. So, just gives us another piece, right? So, between him, between Tay, between Flop, between Drew, those other guys.
You got a lot of guys on that second level that you're hoping become players. You really do, and it's scary that you're gonna rely on Trey Hawkins and Cordell Flott. It frightens me that these guys who haven't really done anything in 3-4 years, respectively, are going to be relied upon. Same with this guy.
Guys that are battling it out. Obviously, safety. Dane's been really good for us here early. Like, he's had a really good spring. So finding ways to get him on the field, what he can do for us to help.
Dane Belton is disaster waiting to happen. He got benched his rookie season in the Texans game. And he didn't see the field again until like week 13, 14 of his second season. And that was only because of injuries. While he has a nose for the ball, he has the propensity of giving up the touchdown. I love it because everyone talks about the two gifted interceptions from Matthew Stafford. I love those interceptions because people fail to mention then that the next 5 consecutive passing touchdowns, the trailer on those next 5 touchdowns were all Dane Belton. We've shown the pictures. Dane Belton does not play in position well. Dane Belton does not take good angles. Dane Belton at times doesn't seem like he knows how to play safety. But because of the fact that he's got 3 interceptions and 6 OTAs, you have Giant fans going nuts. And listen, guys, it's only the OTAs. It's I'm not going to worry about anything just yet until we get into training camp. But like I said, Shane Bowen is going to be a main cog to this entire team, because if he doesn't gel and figure out how to get these guys and use these guys, this is going to be a long ass season. And that's what I'm worried about with this. And like I said, and this whole treasure chest thing, this whole pirate thing, I mean, it reeks of high school.
I don't want to be a pirate.
It literally just reeks of high school, and it reeks of Joe Shane. And I get really worried about that. Now listen, I'm not gonna go off the deep end, only because, like I said, it is only the OTAs. We got more time coming with the OTAs. We got more we got to get in the training camp. We got to get to that first preseason game. So I'm not going to go crazy about anything yet, but I got this pit in my stomach. Oh, I got to roll this out.
Stupid giant Twitter post.
Oh, this wasn't even a Twitter post. This is a video that someone sent me. I guess it's Empire Sports or New York Giants girl or something like that. And evidently she interviewed Matt Sims, of course, the son of Phil Sims, brother to Chris Sims. And they sent me just a clip. And one of the clips, the highlights of the clip was she was talking about Matt was talking about how he just came from the quarterback camp that I guess him and his father are doing or did a couple, the day prior. And I love it because, he was saying he was tired in this, and her thought process, the question she asked him, which is astounding. She goes, well, I bet you wish that when you were in high school, you had some kind of camp like this that you could have gone to. That's not a cesure. That's not a dramatic pause. It was literally my brain falling out because, Matt Sims needs to go to a quarterback camp because he couldn't just ask his should-be Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl winner Phil Sims, or he shouldn't ask his brother Chris, who of course went to Texas, second round to Tampa. He should and played in the league for a bunch of years. He shouldn't just ask those guys. Even Matt, if you look at his face, is like, well, it's always seemed like it was quarterback camp at my house because of the fact that my father and my brother. Oh dear Lord. I believe I can fly. Oh, make sure you guys tune in on Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a good stream. We're having former running back, Green Bay Packer great, Hamon Green. It's going to talk about the Giants quarterback room. This guy ran for what? I think over 1,000 yards 5-6 times in his career with the Green Bay Packers. Monster of running back in his prime. He's going to be in studio to answer some questions, talking about the Giants, Giants running back room. Well, hell, we may even talk a little bit of the Malik Willis situation, because you know what? I'm very excited about having him in the room. Also, Friday, which is today, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be on Ryan's Big Blue Podcast. That's right, Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, up and coming young giant podcaster. He needs to take over for us old folk, because I'm just getting tired. I'm just getting tired. Not getting tired of the Giants. I'm just getting tired of the stupidity around it. But I'm going to be on Ryan's show. It's going to be his very first ever live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Ryan's Big Blue Podcast. And don't forget, Hamon Green is going to be in studio on Sunday talking to the New York Football Giants, talking about the running back rooms. So be there for that live stream at Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, don't forget to like, don't subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'd be awesome.